Hey Yokos!
What?
Why don't you make games like you used to?
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you want. It was only a few months ago when I literally remade the first game that I ever...
Make more games, why don't you?
You play the game as this guy. Some crates they fall from the sky. The quantity loads, some will explode. Your mission is to not die. So this is a remake of one of the games I made about 10 years ago. Pretty much one-to-one recreation, except for the many differences. As you can see, my ability to do artistry has improved slightly in that time. Despite being a nigh literal copy-paste of one of the first games I made, I'm dabbling in new techniques I haven't touched before, and that is physics! For whatever reason, I've never made a game with this kind of rigid body physics. Previous version, you could have some nuts diagonal tower of crates stacked up like it's Pisa or some shit. New game, that's coming down like it's the 11th of September. Okay, but what does this mean for gameplay? Well, it means I can, and also need to, spawn more crates. I can, because you will never get these giant impossible towers that form and push you towards inevitable demise. They just fall down. And I need to, because all the crates fall down to the lowest energy level, and you need a lot more of them to create interesting terrain. Another change is that crates falling on you don't kill you. The reason I did this was that I couldn't be bothered to figure out how to do it in Godot. But then I had to add spiky crates, which do kill you, so I guess I didn't save the effort after all. I like this gameplay-wise, though, because it means that I can spawn a lot more crates without things becoming impossible too fast. You only really have to watch out for the spiky crates rather than all crates. More crates is better, more chaos, and most of them being harmless allows this to be achieved. Bomb crates are good, they just explode after a time. One of the best things about them is... say it with me, they let me spawn more crates, because they clear out all the riffraff on the floor, and you'll never have some kind of Burj Khalifa made out of wooden boxes going off screen so high it's got to worry about hitting the International Space Station. Also, they add chaos, which I've decided is the main feature of this video game, plus they give you a reason not to stand in the middle of the stage. See, nobody wants to stand on the left because you just die of shuriken. And far on the right, you have the same problem. You could be knocked into the blades by falling crates hitting you at a bad angle, or you could accidentally pick up a reverser thing that flips the conveyor belt direction. So your attractor point is a little bit to the right of the middle, right? Well, you have to deal with explosions there, so I guess not. Makes the decision making a bit less simple and automatic. Bombs have enough time to actually detonate by the time they reach this point. A lot of game types, particularly chaotic ones, you want to avoid this kind of attractor point, this ideal situation that everybody wants to be in. Two things to be said about that. Firstly, in this game you can probably find a range where the bombs never have time to detonate, and where you're not really at risk of being knocked into the sores. Bit of a mistake there on my part, bit ill thought through. And second, regardless of where you stand, you'll be forced to move by spiky crates eventually. They fall from the sky indiscriminate of location. If I were to remake this, which I probably will at some point in the distant future, I'd make greater effort to completely destroy this kind of equilibrium, so players aren't always trying to get to one place rather than just playing the game by ear as it comes. Alright, it's funny things time. I used to have spiky crates remain spiky once they hit the ground, and you'd have to vault over them like some kind of Olympic athlete with a large rod, by which I mean you'd have to perform a normal jump to get over them. That was cancer though, you can't do that reliably, so I just made them turn into regular crates when they hit something. The fat crates, they can't be exploded, even though they're not technically immune to explosions. The way explosions work is that for everything in the blast radius, the distance from the center of the thing to the center of the explosion is measured, and if that distance is less than a smaller blast radius, then it's destroyed, otherwise it's merely pushed outward. The smaller radius is so small that there's no way the fat crate and the bomb crate can be close enough to fulfill it. I like this graph so much that I will probably try to find an excuse to add graphs to every game I make in the future. If I were to remake this, I might add a rolling average. I can do a bit of game design, talking about your positive feedback loops and equilibria and negative reinforcement and such. I can do some alrightish programming, I can get ye some art. Hell, I can even write text, barely passably. But when it comes to the musical arts, everything I make sounds duller than a soggy box of blunt wood shavings, truly uninteresting. So for the old game, I grabbed some music off the internet, which in retrospect I'm quite sure is Pokemon music, and for the new game, I grabbed some music out of a Creative Commons Zero bundle I downloaded many years ago. 'Tis the work of Halcyonic Falcon X. The old game had way more stuff. It had missiles and lightning clouds and several other of these arenas. This boring tower climbing mode with no conveyor belt, and also had 30 levels of some kind of linear campaign. Let it be known that I could have made all of that again but better. But I have other stuff to do these days, so nah, mate. Some crates is playable. I'll upload a link to it. Give it a try, let me know how you do. Alright, I'm out. Wee.